Today we will be talking about how to do a growth on a Rogue XP. The first step to doing the growth on the Rogue XP will be to remove the sling by removing the Phillips head screws that are on the sling. Typically they have 6 to 8 screws each, and we will be removing both sides. Today I am doing this with a cordless drill because it is much faster. The next step for doing a growth on a Rogue XP in width is to remove the height adjustable rigidizer bar. To do so, we will be removing the 4 barrel nuts that hold the height adjustable rigidizer in place on the backrest tubes. In this particular case, because there is no upholstery, the mounting hardware for the backrest will need to be removed. This will need to be done on both the left and the right side of the chair. Next, the barrel nut that holds the extension tube for the backrest in place will need to be removed on both sides. The extension tubes will need to be removed as well. And now the height adjustable rigidizer bar can be slid up the chair, up the backrest, and removed. The next step to doing the width growth on a Rogue XP will be to remove the Spinergy release cable from the backrest. This is done by putting a little bit of pressure on the pin from one side and simply unthreading the cable from the one side. You will need to do this on both sides, but you need to get one side loose first. There may be a need to unwind the cable a bit, like I'm doing here, because we're twisting the cable quite a bit, but you can see that I'm unthreading from the pin. Once it is loose, you will then do the exact same thing on the other side of the chair and remove this cable. The next step to growing a Rogue XP will be to remove the footrest assembly so that this bar can be replaced, and also make it so that the chair can be split in the middle. To do so, we will loosen the two screws that hold the high mount footrest, in this case, from the frame. If a chair has a standard foot plate, the same applies, but you will need to remove the standard foot plate. In this particular case, we are removing a high mount foot plate and footrest system. This extension bar from left to right will need to be replaced with a longer one that will work with the length of the chair that we are growing it to. Once the sling has been removed, one of the things that will be easy for you to do is look at this serial number tag. The serial number tag is typically on the right-hand side of the frame, pointing backwards on the cross tube before the extender. This particular part right here, this sticker will be what you will need to contact customer service to have them give you an entire list of all the parts you're going to need to do the growth on the Rogue XP. The next step for growing the width on this Rogue XP, after we've removed all the pieces from the frame, is to remove the growth strut so that we can replace it. It is held in place with two barrel nuts with 4mm Allens on either side. Sometimes the growth struts can be a little grumpy and you may need to use a hammer or a dead blow to push them out. I usually use an Allen key to do so. The next step to growing the width of a Rogue XP is going to be to remove the camber bar so that we can remove this strut from the front of the frame. This is done by loosening the clamps and removing the camber adapter and axle assembly. Now you will see that we can then take the camber adapter and pull it away, and it can now be replaced. As you can see, taking apart a Rogue XP and putting it back together involves a lot of steps and a lot of parts. Everything you've seen here, to do the reassembly, you just do all the same steps in reverse.